Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ahorangi Starchild and I am on my mobile phone. I was just about to start the video and we don't have any electricity and I thought, oh well, sort it. Here I am. Okay, so today's video is about violet rays and I would like to bring in information. I know there's not a lot of information out there concerning violet ray. I want to keep it straight to the point. I want to keep it simple. The information I'm putting out here is my own journey. I don't know what other people have to say about violet rays. I'm just sharing my own journey here. So take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, then just chuck and release it. But basically, seven rays are here to transform and transmute. In my experience, we spend about the first half of our life discovering what it is that we need to transform and transmute. And in the last half of our lifetime here, we actually do it. We transform and transmute energies that needs to be released in our bloodlines specifically. Okay, so our responsibilities are to cleanse toxic emotional, physical, and mental patterns from our bloodlines. Okay. And if you are a violet ray, whether you are in union, whether you're on separation, whether you're just a star seed passing through, okay, it is about you being a contrast to the culture that you were born into. You are literally a contrast to the family you were born into. You're a contrast to the culture you were born into. Okay. That's my experience. So I'll just quickly also say that violet rays are associated with Saint Germain and his lady Portia. We are associated with anything in the color of violet. So whatever, if there is a plant with a violet color and you want to research what that plant does, how it functions, then you will actually tap into your own vibration as a violet ray. Anything that resonates or vibrates to violet will have a personality of the kind which will resonate with you. So I like to think of the seventh rays as the cleanup crew. Yeah, man, we here to do the dirty work. We like Mike Jobs. Okay, we get down and dirty and then we absorb it and then we release it. That's what we do. And then so it also, seventh ray also vibrates to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of revolution. It's a planet of electricity, innovative thinking. Okay, I made notes, so that's why I'm looking to the side just to make sure that I don't leave anything out. And violet rays will push each other to transform and transmute. If you have a twin, and I love my twin, I just want to say, um, if you watch this video, I haven't seen you for a while, but I still love you the same. You are still the one. You're still the one. Okay, so we push each other to transform. We'll push each other's buttons. We will show each other where you need to start to look at the bigger picture because Violet Ray is all about the bigger picture as well. I don't know what the other rays. I'm not. I don't read up on other rays like the blue rays or the pink rays. I suggest if you're not sure what ray it is that you belong to, have a look at your life purpose. Find your life purpose, the things that you're interested in. Get to know yourself in different ways, your personality, the way that you think, what makes you tick. All of those type of things will give you an indication of what ray you are. Okay, so the first thing that I also want to say is with transmutation and transformation is those things are very slow processes. It will take you your whole life. Okay. I am now I'm approaching my Chiron return. So that means I'm close to my 50s. And I am now in a place where I can reflect back upon my life. So that's where a lot of this information comes from, because I can puzzle it together. So I'm sharing my life journey here with you. The first thing that you will find if you are a violet ray is you will be a contrast point. You will be the only one in your family who doesn't vibe with the rest of your family. Okay. I was born into a very racist culture. I'm from South Africa. I was born 72. So, racism was rife in the 70s in South Africa. But at the same time, I was also an unwanted child. I was unplanned. I grew up in daycare centers, but I also had a nanny, which was the practice back in the day. And there will also be synchronicities throughout your journey to let you know what is of importance to you in your journey. So the first synchronicity that comes up for me is my nanny's name was Marai. So Marai is spelt different, but it sounds the same as here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. The Maori, their meeting house where their tribes, their iwis get together to have important discussions, funerals, weddings, that meeting place is called a marae. Okay, so that was the first major synchronicity when I started to explore my union and my connection and what ray I am. It became clear that I was here to transform and to clear my bloodline from the toxicity, that accumulated in our bloodline over many generations. And what also happened was, because I was an unplanned pregnancy, my mother was also a narcissist. So I had experiences of mental, physical, emotional abuse, mental, physical, emotional manipulation. And this these lessons I learned in the first half of my life was to have these experiences, and then as I matured to understand the energetics that goes with my life and how it was unfolding, and as I understand the purpose of these experiences, I can release it. Okay, so it is. I had to go for, I don't know, for psychotherapy. I've been on a spiritual journey. I've been living in isolation essentially for the last I'm going in for 7 years of isolation, where where you take the internal journey of the dark night of the soul, and you come to a better understanding of your spirituality and where it is that you're connected to. Okay, but with the violet rays will push each other to be innovative. We will push each other to look at the bigger picture. We will push each other to expand and to basically have a revolution. It's either an inner revolution where you have to change things inside of yourself, programs of religion and culture or whatever it is that doesn't resonate with you, other labels that people force onto you that is not yours, your twin, and you together will force each other to have a look at those labels and to change it, to release it, to be more authentic in yourself, because that is what everyone is here to do this. But I feel like with the violet rays, we are the ones that cannot, that's our first and foremost transformation, is to be authentic. Okay? That's our first and foremost transformation, is to say, I can't be what you want me to be. And this starts with your family. Okay? So what I can sort of see how it played out in my situation, how this transformation and this transmutation is taking place, is my mother was one of 9 children, but she was the only, well, as far as I can see, she was the only one that had really, really bad, or no, not bad. She had high tendencies of narcissism, whereas other family members didn't really show this kind of behavior towards their family or their children. And I actually asked my grandmother one time, why is my mother so different to her other children? And she couldn't tell me. And earlier this year in July, I went to a place, Whatatutu here in New Zealand, and I spent 3 days meditating in a pa, which is the original village site of a family, Maori family, iwi, that lived there 7 generations ago. And it was through discussion, with a soul brother of mine that, because I was trying to understand why it is that I ended up in New Zealand. I'm the only one in our family who immigrated. I'm the only one in our family who is spiritual. I'm the only one in our family who outgrew in my case, the narrow-minded, judgmental Christian mentality, because in the Christian faith that I grew up in, and this is not criticism on Christianity, because I still practice Christianity, but I just I refuse to judge people who do not embrace my faith. Okay, so that is something that I find is very, very, very important. And what had happened was, because my mother was such a toxic type personality, that it became clear to me that in the generation where my mother was in, that she took upon her all the toxicity accumulated in our bloodline throughout all the generations. She signed up in her soul contract to carry all the toxicity. I signed up to release all that toxicity. So what happened was, to create the contrast for the transmutation, because that's what you need to be able to transform and transmute. You need two different energies, because the main energy is going to morph into a different energy. And so with her toxicity that she was carrying, I was the contrast to that. What she forced upon me is where I rebelled, and how do I say it? That is what I revolted against, was I can't be and I won't be what you want me to be. And so that was creating the pressure of the energy to create the forward momentum of the transmutation and transformation, if I can put it to you like that. Okay, so I hope you understand. Please ask questions below this video if you don't understand concepts that I'm trying to convey here. But you need 2 different types of energy to be able to transform. You need a positive and a negative. Okay, so in the way, if you want to say that mother with the narcissistic tendencies and the toxic behavioral patterns was a negative, And just not that I'm better or anything, but you needed the positive, you needed the contrast, you needed the judgment, non-judgmental, you needed the person willing to take on that energy to be able to transmute it into something else. Okay, which is like, that is what you want, that is how you want me to be, that is how you see me to be, but this is how I refuse to be. Okay, so there is a lot of clashing, there's a lot of contrast that's needed to be able to clear toxic behavioral patterns from a bloodline, which is the main responsibility for violet rays. Okay, that is what we are here to do. So if you have a feeling that you might be a violet ray, research anything with the color violet in it. um Research your life, research your personality type, how you process your information. How I know I'm a violet ray is because I'm a skydiver, so that is definitely the type of sport that is a non-conformative. It's non-conformative thinking. It's a non-conforming type of reality. It's going against the grain, a kind of thing, which is very much my personality type. I don't follow blindly. I question everything. It must make sense to me in my world, whatever it is, whether it's a philosophy. It must be able to fit in not only in my world, but in not in, only in my perspective, but in the world that I live in at large, because you're looking at the collective, you're looking at not only your culture, but you're looking beyond your own culture, you're looking beyond everything you've even come to know in your experience as an individual, knowing that, how do I say this? Whatever you perceive as your reality is only a small point of a perspective. Your perspective of something is only 10% of what it could potentially be. In all its potential, your perspective might only cover 10% or even less. So it is to have the understanding that you don't have all the information, but whatever it is, must be something that is revolutionary, whether this is you wanting to improve your environment, your lifestyle, make a contribution to your community, make a contribution to people, make a difference in this world. Whatever it is, it will be innovative, it will be groundbreaking, it will be done in a totally different way, sometimes even shocking, because Uranus is a planet of electricity. Okay, so you might have the shock factor for people. What else did I want to say? It also rules, with Saint Germain, there's magic. You might believe in magic. You might have the ability to interfere with electricity. I know I interfere electronic equipment, which can sometimes be a bit of a pain, but you learn to live with it. um, my twin is also one who he has a beautiful mind. He has innovative thinking. He's creative, highly creative, thinks outside the box. We're talking about, is the world flat or is it round? The media, what do you want to believe in the media? What is truth? What's not true? Do you want to just believe everything that mainstream media tells you, or or would you like to investigate and get clarity for yourself? This is concerning anything from vaccines to cancer treatment to finding a solution for all the plastic problems, the environmental issues that we're struggling with here today. So your twin flame mission is much bigger than just you being in union with someone there. It's the clearing of bloodlines. It's being a contrast to the values that you were born into, and you just knowing that you don't fit into whatever environment you were born into, and a need to transform and transmute and change whatever it is you were born into something better. I don't know, into something different, something more high vibrational, because we still have a human factor here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions. I might make a follow-up on this. There's so much information, um concerning violet rays. The other thing that I also realized was that there's an aversion to the color purple in the first half of your life. You don't like violet. You never liked purple. You never liked anything. You never found it in your cupboard. You were never drawn to it. I feel as a young person, I always felt the heavy responsibility that color resembles. But when I started to go through Dark Night of the Soul, the color purple, color violet became very soothing. It became almost like where I used to not be drawn to it. It became the type of color that feeds my soul, that makes me feel comforted, and it actually became a part of me as I started to embrace my journey. I wear the color purple a lot. I have blankets with the color purple, all those type of things. I just found it quite interesting that when I was young, I couldn't stand the color, but now I can't get enough of it. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. I love sharing my world with you. Please ask questions. I would love to answer your questions. Have a beautiful journey, everyone. Light and love.